So I want to start off with a story that has really been bugging me for a considerable amount of time. And, or not even a story that's bugged me for a considerable amount of time, I should say, a company that has really bothered me and worried me for that matter. I want to say that I was one of the biggest Mass Effect fans throughout the trilogy. Now, I'm not the most, like, I don't spend every waking moment on Reddit. I don't read all the lore, but, like, I legitimately was so into that series and could not get enough of it and was so disappointed when Andromeda came out and just ended up being not a horrible game, but quite honestly, a pretty bad game. It was not what it should have been. It was clearly rushed out the door because, as we found out much in the future, they were way behind schedule, and EA just told them, get what you can out the door because we can't keep having it sit here. And as you guys will remember, when the last really big trailer came out for Mass Effect Andromeda, it wasn't a gameplay trailer. It wasn't even a cinematic trailer. It was like a behind-the-scenes thing. And that was the last big E3 trailer for that game before it came out, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure on that one. So imagine my shock when this is a thing that happened at Gamescom not too long ago. And it's about the same thing. So let's take a quick look at it. So as you can see here, so far, it's just talking. For a game that we've known has been in existence and at least announced since I believe the Game Awards of 2018, I think it was. So that's another 2 years and nothing to show for it. So that's great. Now, I'm not going to watch this whole thing because I don't want to, kind of bore you with a 4-minute trailer, but he does mention that this game is in early development still, which tells me that they've done nothing. Because the game was announced 2 years ago. Ideally, that would mean that, you've probably done a little bit of the planning. Early production? Yeah, I don't know about that. But they do the same thing they did before. Concept art, talking about the game, telling you about how amazing it's going to be. And I just realized I didn't turn the desktop audio on. My bad.
And you're saving people.
Dragon Age to me.
There, you should at least be able to hear it now.
Oops.
But yeah, really a bunch of stuff where they're not telling you shit. Or they're not showing you shit. They're just showing you, like, very bare bones concept art. And, like, very minimal. Like, they've basically just shown you, here's the map and here's our camera going through it. That's it.
You get an opportunity
to
see new things, new places.
That's very worrying.
And interact with people who lived.
So that's really the gist of the entire video. That's really it. That's not good at all. Man, that's very terrifying. And as a guy who has been the biggest BioWare fan for a long time, I mean, obviously not even Mass Effect, like Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, like those are really good games. And then obviously the original couple Dragon Ages. I liked all 3 Dragon Ages. I know a lot of people really didn't enjoy the second one very much. I still enjoyed it quite a bit. Inquisition was a very surprising game for me. I ended up liking that a lot more than I thought I would. And obviously Mass Effect Andromeda was a disaster. Just every Mass Effect fan knew that this was not even remotely close to the quality that we normally get. And I'm not even talking about like the graphics and the really horrible facial animations and shit. No, this was just a game that clearly took everything that should have been in a game like that. Because again, and I've said this on the podcast before, this is a game supposed to be about exploring a new galaxy. And I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm going to spoil a little bit about the game, about it, Mass Effect Andromeda, although I would honestly tell you don't bother playing it to begin with. This was a game meant to be, okay, we're breaking away from the normal Shepard trilogy. We're getting away from you being the war-torn hero that you've always been. Because that's another thing, too, about a lot of these games that I don't like. I want to be, I want to become the hero. I don't want to already be the hero. I don't want to be this legend. I want to become the legend. And the idea with, Andromeda was that you were going to get to become that. You were going to be the child of a tested legend. And you were going to be the one to go and colonize in this new galaxy and discover new worlds and discover new races and new elements and all these things that would have made it such a cool game. And what happens at the beginning of Mass Effect Andromeda? Well, the planet that you scouted as being the next Earth planet is already gone to shit. You go onto the planet anyway because, as we all know, the second you fly anywhere, you were always guaranteed to crash, and that's exactly what happens. You go to try to find a couple of your teammates, and you make first contact with a new race. This is supposed to be the biggest moment of a game about colonizing and exploring new worlds. First contact. So you know what happens. You see them with guns in hand, because, of course. And you are given, basically the option of, well, how do you approach them? And the first time I played the game, I was curious. I went in, didn't fire my gun. And they just fired at me. So, you didn't have a choice. You went into first contact and had the choice to either shoot first or be shot first. And it doesn't change anything in the story. It doesn't do anything. It's just a very minor piece. And from then on, I knew that this game was not going to be what I wanted. I already kind of had a feeling of it as soon as the first world was just absolutely torn to shit. But as soon as first contact became you have to fight, then everything was screwed up. If it was up to me, I would have had you go at least an hour without ever coming into contact with a new race. You would have come in contact with maybe wildlife, but not an actual sentient race. Not like what, say, the Quarians or the Asari, none of them. It wouldn't be like that. The Ket are the first people you come into contact with in Andromeda, and I wouldn't have had you come into contact with anybody for at least an hour. Make it seem like you're onto this planet that's not colonized yet. And you slowly discover that there is a race living on this planet, but they're underdeveloped. My idea would have been to have you become the aliens coming to a planet that's Neanderthal level people. They're at the point that we were, say, in the caveman ages. We were just drawing on the sides of rocks. That was the biggest thing we were doing. I thought that'd be really cool. And then trying to choose whether to just completely enslave that world or try to protect it from outside threats and try to coexist. I thought that could have been a really interesting game, but instead, it just became another fucking Western game about shooting everything because that's the goal. You gotta be the war hero. You gotta be able to shoot everything and kill everything. It's just bang bang shooty bang bang all over again, and it didn't go very well. So there was that. And then Anthem happened, and we knew that, okay, BioWare has now made 2 colossal fuck-ups in a row. Because Anthem died a real quick death. They're still hanging, and apparently they're going to try and rebuild this thing, but I don't know about that. And I wonder if that's part of why Dragon Age 4 has taken so long to get moving. And when I see things like this, when I see trailers that show you nothing, they don't show you anything for gameplay, they don't show you anything about the game, and they call this game early development when we've known about this game for at least 2 years now, that really worries me. And that worries me because I love BioWare, still do, despite the last 2 games. I never played Anthem, but I've heard from a few people that did that it's a cool concept, but they just don't execute it very well. And it really disappoints me because I really wanted to believe in this company and believe that they were going to last. And I have a really, really bad feeling that this is it. I've heard rumors that they're looking into another Mass Effect game, maybe revitalizing it, rebooting it, whatever you may call it. I don't know about that. I really don't. I have a really pessimistic feeling with these guys in thinking that this might be the end of the road. Dragon Age 4, if it's another disaster or even like just another meh game, like if it doesn't do the ludulation of like the mainstream media, of fans, this might be it. This might be BioWare's destruction. I don't want that. I certainly don't want that. They're, at one point used to be my favorite company when it came to games. And that's kind of gone. I don't even know who my favorite one is, to be honest now. It might be Atlas just because of Persona. That might be literally it. But this is pretty disappointing. And I might be overreacting, but I've been burned by this exact pathway. Now, who knows? Maybe 6 months down the road, a year down the road, because who knows? Maybe this game's 3 years away from coming out. We don't know. But this is a sign that just gives me really bad flashbacks, and I don't want that to be the case, because, I want a company that I really like to actually exist and continue to exist and get back to where they used to be, because where they used to be the best. Mass Effect 2 and 3, because 1 I came into later because I didn't get an Xbox right away. I remember getting the game as early in the morning as I could for Mass Effect 2. And I think I might have started at like 9 or 10 a.m. and didn't stop playing until 2 a.m. the next day. Nonstop. Like, other than like bathroom breaks and eating, that was it. I played that game nonstop. And I've finished Mass Effect 2, I want to say, probably 4 or 5 times. All the DLC. Gone through Mass Effect 3, same deal. Played the hell out of that. I know the ending is a sore spot for people, but I still think the game as a whole was really, really good. Other than obviously locking away a Prothean behind a DLC wall, which was, or a pre-order wall at the same time. That was really shady. But otherwise, this is a company that hasn't had a good game in quite some time, and it really worries me because I want this company to keep going and make the games that I remember used to liking. And yeah, it sucks, and I really, really hope that everything that I'm worrying about right now with Dragon Age 4 is just me worrying for nothing, and me just kind of having that pessimistic, like, negative flashback to, previous situations with this specific company.